So we are going to use the Pantheon.io host account to set up our WordPress server or our WordPress website. So before you can get access to this page, you have to first register. If you have an account, you will have to log into the account. So after you are done with the basic login, you come to your site. Pantheon gives access to two sandboxes, that's two sites, two folders that you can keep your website inside, and you can delete them. If you want extras, you can pay for extra, and the two is free for test purposes. So we're going to create a new account. So you come to the site. If it's a new account, you still can come to site and go to create a new account or a new site. Then you're going to choose WordPress. After you have chosen WordPress, you would have to set it up. That is the basic setup. So we are going to create a new one, Eat Ghana. Then I want mine to be in the European Union. That's where I want my site files to be saved from. Then I go to continue. And with setting up your WordPress, you would need images and you will need content for your website. So whilst you are setting it up, you can come to pexels.com and where you can get a few pictures, right? So we have pictures of African, because you are doing that, something that pertains with food. You can say African food and take some pictures from that place. I think this picture is not bad. This too. Food, agriculture, technology. And we choose a few pictures from there to support what we are coming to build. So our site is being deployed. This means that we are deploying WordPress onto our server. When it's done, we are going to install it onto the server. So we have these two processes. Some host accounts or some host managers would go ahead and install WordPress for you, and you wouldn't have to install it. But this one only deploys, and you would have to go through another step to install it. So we are going to go through those two steps whilst it's being deployed. Let's see if we can get some images for our website. So pexels.com is loading, and I like to use Pexels because, like it says here, the pictures are free to use. So you can go for photos or videos, which are also free to use. So I have some images down there. I think this would help. I've downloaded a few images that we can use for our test cases. So this is a flower plantation. And the pictures are looking quite solid and neat and very nice. And this one too would do. And let's see this. I'm downloading more images, so the ones that come. At times, uploading the images is a bit of a struggle. So we download more than the ones that are able to come. We use it to suffice for those which are not able to upload. Okay, so let's check our installation. Our deployment is almost done. So aside that, we will need content for our website. So let's say we are going to do that. I personally like Gemini, so we are going to use Gemini. At Gemini, you press tab. So copyright, content for a website that is centered on heat Ghana, right? So Ghanaian food. So talk about food, agriculture, investments, and innovation, poverty alleviation, and search. So this is going to search directly in Gemini. That is Google's AI. And our website is fully deployed, so we can go ahead and install it. So you go to site admin. Okay, Gemini is about to do its magic. Then we choose English for USA. That's what I prefer, but you can choose any of the languages here. Then there's the name of your site, and this is your username that you're going to use to log into your site, and password. So you can choose to give your own password. So I'm going to give in my own password, and the email, I'm choosing the email I used to collect. So my sample email. There's the email that your account is going to be associated with for verification and anything related to. So if you want to change your password, the verification will be sent to this particular email. And this is the search engine visibility. So when you disable it, it means that search engines cannot search your website or crawl your website for other users. So I'm not going to touch this, and I'm going to install straight away. So my installation is done, so I'm going to log into my site. With my username and password, I'm good to go. So this is what you see when you log into a website for the first time, like a WordPress dashboard. So we have our dashboard. You can arrange your activities here. Then we have posts. So on this bar, that's where you have your navigation on your dashboard. So we have posts. So posts are where articles are kept, or where you create articles for your blog website. So if you have a blog, here is where you create your articles. And under that, you click this to create a new article. You click this to view all articles. We call them posts in WordPress. And there's categories. So under the category section, that is where you categorize your posts. The default is uncategorized. You don't want to be under default section, so you create your own category. So all the posts are going to be under the category uncategorized section. So you would want to create your own category by going to add category, then you save category. Okay, so after that you can delete this, and you set a default based on your preference. And under the media, that is where you can import media files. So the images that we have, I'm going to import them. Go to add, so you can drag and drop here, and look here, maximum file upload is 100 megabytes. So I'm going to upload some of the files that we downloaded and open. So it's uploading. I think the files are plenty and it will take a time. So let's go and view what Gemini did for us. So it gave us a homepage. So we are just going to create about two sections of our homepage for today's section. So headline, sub-headline, key sections, right? Then some beautiful things to look out for. Okay, which is pretty nice for a simple website. This will take quite a while. I was not supposed to do it at this time, so let me go through the others. So we have the pages section. Let me open it in a different browser and handle that. Okay, so every single page that you create is a web page. Every single page that you create is a web page, and you can link your menu items to it, right? You can link your navigation to the pages, and you can also create subsections where you can link to. So you have to notice that every single page is a web page. You create a new page using the add new page. All your pages are listed here. You can edit, you can quick edit, you can trash, and you can preview. So that is it with the pages. And under comment is where you receive the default comments. So if you have a blog, you have a comment integrated. All the comments submitted on your website will be shown here. We have the mine, pending, approved, spam, and trash. So all new ones will be under pending. If they are approved, then people can see it. Someone can send comments, but if it's not approved, it will not be shown on your site that someone has commented, because most comments are spam messages. So you don't want to straight away move them to approved. So they come to pending, you approve before they go to approved. And if you mark them as spam, they wouldn't be able to send again using that specific details. Okay, then we have the appearance. Appearance is where you control the feel of your website. So under the appearance, we have the theme. The theme is the underlying design or system that holds your WordPress in place, your website in place. Talk about the button, talk about the colors, talk about the typography, everything inside. So every theme has the way it looks. So we are going to look into how to install a new theme. There are several themes in the world, more than 10,000, but the ones that are most of the times preferred and it's a bit lightweight is Astra and Ocean WP. So there's Astra, there's Ocean WP. They are all great and a bit lightweight for most activities. So we are going to install it. And in WordPress, whenever you install a plugin or a theme, you would have to activate it for it to be active, because you can install several things. If you don't activate the specific one, it wouldn't be active. So we activate it. So after activation, you could see that our appearance will change and would have extra navigations. So now we have patterns, customized widgets, menus, and theme file editor. So that's it for the theme. So under the customize, that is where you can change the feel of your site. Astra comes with its own feel, right? So if you want to change the feel of it, you can come to customize and change the feel of it. You can go to customize and change how the header looks like, and everything, the footer and everything. Let's talk about the plugins. Under the plugin section, so what is a plugin? A plugin is an extra, how do I even go about this? It's we introduce plugins to add extra features to our website. So talk about plugins. Let's say you are building an e-commerce website. WordPress is not built to support, or it's not built to straight away be used to sell, unless you create the shop page, you create the cart, you create the order. Like, everything has to be created for you, or you have to create it for it to act like a shop page, right? It's a website creator. So if you want that burden to be lifted up, you can use a plugin to attain that feature. You want to receive payments on your website, you can use a plugin to go ahead, right? Instead of having to write your own code to integrate a payment method, you can use a plugin which has everything integrated. All you have to do is to do simple configurations and you're good to go. So under the plugin section, this is where you can have your plugins. All the plugins that are listed, these are default plugins. Personally, I don't need it, so I can delete them. So you can bulk delete them. So bulk delete. So let's add a new plugin. There are tens and thousands of plugins available on our plugin store, and some of them are built by third parties. Most of them are built by third parties, and some too by the WordPress community or the creators of WordPress. So we are going to search for Elementor, which is a site builder, right? We are going to use it to design our website. And you can also upload a plugin. You can download a plugin from somewhere and upload it. Because there is the availability of uploading a plugin, you can install WordPress locally on your machine and download the necessary plugins and upload them, which also works. I'm going to activate it, and under the users, that is where all the users are. So every user that is signed onto your WordPress website is saved under the users. You are personally also in the users section. So there are types of users to know about. We have the subscriber, that's the normal user, a contributor, author, editor, and administrator. So to have access to this dashboard, I am an administrator by default. So you can also create new users and give them these roles. Some of these roles: an author, someone to write a blog post; an editor, someone to edit someone's blog post; and a contributor to also do other minute roles. Okay, so we have the tools you can use to import or export your data, the user data that you have, onto a different WordPress site. And under the settings, we have the general: writing, reading, discussion, media, permalinks, and privacy. So the general, that's where you set. So this is where we set up our name in the first place. There's a site icon. The site icon is something like this: the favicon, then the small icon that is shown close to the title of our page, that's the site icon. And the administrative email and membership: allow anyone to register. The default membership is subscriber. That's the default, like the basic role you can give to. So they have very limited use cases. And when you go below the time format, I think I like this and I like this, and my week starts on Sunday. Then you save changes, or you can say week starts on Monday. If week starts on Sunday, it means that your business day is, you have Sunday as your business day. So let's reset it to Monday. Then you save changes. And under the right hand, so your default post, because we've not created any category, still it is under on category. And this is standard. This is a bit not for today's course. And go to reading. So reading, we are going to set our home page, right? So when you open our page for the first time, it's going to present us with our latest post. Our latest post is a sample page, but we want to set it to a static page, right? So it will pick a page inside our pages, but this is picking a page inside our post. We want our website to be a web page. So we don't have any page, so we are going to use a sample page and our post sample page. We'll later come and change it. So if you create a page for blog, you come here, then you change it to blog. Then you go to save page, save changes. When we are done, we'll set it to the new page that we'll create. And let's talk about permalinks for last. The media and discussion are read to understand. You can read to understand them. So let me talk about the permalinks. Okay, so permalinks. Under the permalinks, that is how your structure, that's the URL structure. This is your URL. The permalink talks about your URL structure. We have the plain, day and name, but you want to choose post name. It brings the name of your page. So your URL, like your domain name slash the name of your page, which is easy to find and it's not too confusing for users most times. And you're going to save it. So now we are going to create a page for our home page using the Elementor that we just installed in our plugins section. Some of our images could not install, could not be uploaded for some strange reason. I think it's the internet. So we're going to create a new page. Okay, so this is the name of our home page. That's the name of our page. We are going to publish it. Publishing it means you are saving it. So this is the URL you can use to visit it, but you're going to edit it with Elementor. Okay, so we're going to do a basic description or introduction into what Elementor. So over here, that's where we can use to go back. You can also view history, exit to WordPress back again. Over here, that's where you can have this toolbox, your drag and drop toolbox. That's where you have your tools. Most of them are locked because they are premium, but you can have a plugin that can provide you with similar or the same tools, right? The same tools for free. So that's the basic power of plugins. Okay, so and over here we have desktop, mobile, and our mobile phone view. So we are going to create our first section, that is our navigation section, and we want it to look a bit more neat, a bit more stylish. So we are going to put an image here as the background of the section. We also put over here text box and a link. So you come here to select an element, and we want to go for a text. So, and we also want to go for a text editor. So there's an H1. So the one I'm putting below is the P tab. That is for our body. And after that, we want to give a bit more space between them before we put a button. And I'll put a button under it. So we can increase the space. So the space is just an empty space, like a div with a little padding bar. It's just an empty space. Okay. So this is it. But I don't want it to be like this. I'm going to delete it for what I want. So I'm showing you how to use the container. So I'm going to create a container, put it below the spacer, and I'm going to put the button inside. So I'm going to put in a button and a text, and I want them to be on the same line. So this text should be okay, text editor should be okay. Then you see this has to be in the container, right? So there's the container I placed, and there's the text inside. So let us view the structure of this thing. There's a container, there's the button, and this is the text box. This is the left container, right? So everything is structured in containers, this and this. So we're going to make the container behave in a way that puts it side by side. So when I select the container, you could see that it has changed. When I select any element, you could see that it has changed from this side to properties of that specific text or that specific element. So we are going to change the text form. So we started from top. So let's go back to our Gemini to pick in data. So something like this. Then we come back and we put it in here, right? I believe this is too small for my liking, but it's okay. And the size of it is too small for me, so I'm going to increase the size under the tab. So you have the content, that's the content of it, and we have, so this HTML tag. This is a bit higher, but I'm going to choose the 2, and we have the style and we have the advanced. So we're going to choose the style first. Under the style, it changes for every element. Every element has its own style properties. So for text properties, we have alignment, color, typography, everything that pertains to text. So we are going to change the color to a black, or since it's about food, you can go yellow. You can go close to yellow. Right. Close to yellow. So this is quite okay. Then we're going to increase the size of it. I like to use the M or rem units, right? And this is quite okay for me. And decrease the spacing in between them. Space in between them. And if it's a bit, let's see if it's uppercase, right? I don't know, but it looks a bit off. Okay, this is quite better. Then this also okay, or we can change the color to a black, a flat black. Right, so our button should be either black or the color that, so our normal color, we can pick a color, right? So to pick the color, we can change the text color to black, right? And if it's a bit small, so there's the position inside the container, right? And on hover is when you put the mouse on it. So we can change the color to, no, we can rather make the color white. So when you put the mouse on it, right, then you give it a border color of black. When you hover on it, so solid red is one, something that's pretty small, right? No, I think I want it to, a lighter shade. Okay, a lighter shade is not bad. I think it's okay. I'm going to change, so I can copy this and paste the style, right? You see the color is black and this is a bit gray. I can paste the style. Since they are of the same type, I can paste the style and it would work. So I want this to be contribute, right? And this to be learn more. And when I'm done, I wanted to put it side by side each other. So you click on the base container, right? Then the direction, instead of it being column, you change it to row, right? And you want to set it to, I think this is okay. We're going to set it, align it to the center. the middle here. Let me see. It's not aligning, so let me use a text, a heading text rather. And delete this. Okay, and I'm going to change the size to 16 pixels, the boldness to 500, 400 is okay, and the color to black with an underline. Yes, with an underline. Just quite okay. And we are done with this part. So we're going to put an image right here. So I'm going to click on the container itself, and instead of the container having a color, I'm going to set its background to be an image. So you go to the styles, under the background settings you go to classic, then you choose an image. Now library, we can choose this, no thing. Let's try this for now. Then if it doesn't work, I have to position it. So let's do the position. So repeat to no repeat, attachment to scroll, and so let's do position center, and the display size cover. Right. Let's see if the is fixed. That's how to look. Right. You can scroll on it and it's fixed. Right. We don't want it to look like that. And contain, no. So cover. Let's see. Top center is too much. The specific photo is not for this, so let's change it to this because it's landscape. It might fit perfectly well, and it fits. It works perfectly nice. And mind you, you can link these two. So there's a button, you can link the button to somewhere. You can also link this. When you come to the content, you can put a link inside the text button. So let's create our next section. Our next section, key sections, right? Let's talk about the key sections. So we're going to create something like this. Now let's create something like this first for our heading. I'm going to put a text, and we see that contribute. Let's make it all caps. Contribute, and we put it center. Then we select our main container, and we're going to push it away from our first container using the margin or padding. So margin is the space you give your element outside its base container, right? Outside its base container. And padding is the space that is given inside it. So this is our border, the space from the border to the element, that's the padding. Space from the border to outside the element itself, the container itself, that's the margin. So let's set it to 0, right? And this too also 0. But we are going to unlink it and set our margin top a bit a bit further away, right, somewhere here. I'm going to change the color of it. I'm going to create another section, and in this section we are going to put in an image, a heading text, a text box, and a button. Right, let's use the same button. So we copy this and come here and we paste it, and it comes below it. So when we are done, we can duplicate it and delete these ones. So let's go in, and what can we look at? So let's first look at food and agriculture. So let's talk about sustainable agriculture. Right, and I want the text to be black. Or let's copy this color code style. You copy the color code, copy it, come here, come and use it, press enter. Right, changes to black, and the image, we select an image. So sustainable agriculture, something like this. So what I'm using, you can see that the information is not very very detailed, because I didn't do an extensive research on it. So when we are done, we can duplicate the sections, so we get 4, and we delete these ones. Right, and we have something like this, and we can come in here to pick in other right, and okay, something like this here. Okay, something like this. You can change this image, but make sure your image, the ratios are the same. You can use, let's say I use this type of image right here. You see that it will change the narrative of our structure, which is not very good. So you would want, unless I increase the height, right? I increase the height to something like this, which is probably distorting the image. It's distorting the image. So you also look into, let's say, no center right, something like this, right? But let's change this to food security. I don't know what to use for food security. Let's try something like this, and let me copy and paste down. Right, value chain, and I'm going to paste the same stuff, and we are good to go here. So that's how to construct these two sites, which is pretty easy. So there's a background image, and there's an image tag itself, and we've been able to use it to achieve this, which is quite easy. So we're going to end it here, and we're going to save it. And this is how, when you view it, you come here, view page. So this is how to construct a simple web page, right? A simple web page or website. So let's come here and change so that when you view this directly, that's what it's going to show. Here's what it's going to show, which is pretty okay for a site, right? Okay, so that's it for today.